We're officially at the midway point for 2024, and while not quite as packed as last year, there have certainly been several standout releases. Role-playing fans are certainly feasting, but there have been some standout action-adventure games, platformers, and more to experience. Check out our picks for the top 15 games of 2024's first half, starting with Alan Wake 2: Night Springs.
The motorcycle tracks ended at a cabin. Was my rider inside?
The surreal creepiness and noir horror of Alan Wake 2 left a lasting impression on us when it launched last year. Night Springs doesn't look to top it so much as offer a Twilight Zone-esque structure with 3 standalone episodes. Cut through mobsters as Alan Wake's #1 fan, Rose Marigold, venture through Coffee World as Control's Jesse Fade, or engage in a meta-breaking narrative with Sheriff Breaker, played by Shawn Ashmore of Quantum Break fame. It's off the cuff, bizarre, and Night Springs at its best. F1 24. Codemaster's latest iteration of the Formula 1 racing series raised some alarm bells with its handling and physics changes. If you can stomach or tweak them enough to your liking, there's a lot to like, from the new driver career and its secret negotiations and engineering events to the new challenger career. F1 World is also weirdly compelling with its loot-focused gameplay, even if it needs some changes, and there's no denying the presentation. It's not the best title in the series, but remains enjoyable. WWE 2K24. While WWE 2K23 coasted on featuring war games for the first time, WWE 2K24 offers significantly more. There are ambulance, casket, gauntlet, and special guest referee matches, while Backstage Brawl is enhanced with more weapons and interactions. The new Showcase mode, covering 40 years of WrestleMania, is competent overall, and others like MyGM and Universe have more significant additions. It also doesn't hurt that the wrestling feels like the best in years, even with its trademark jankiness. Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden. Flying under the radar this year is Dontnod's Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden, a tale of Red and Antia. After the latter unexpectedly dies, the former must decide whether to resurrect or allow her to ascend. Of course, as a banisher, there's also the task of helping settlers in the late 17th century against evil spirits, seamlessly shifting between both characters to unleash firearms, swords, and magic. While several aspects could use improvements, Banishers is still an evolving tale of love and loss. Stellar Blade. 3 years ago, Shift Up's Project Eve attracted its fair share of attention with its sleek visuals, combat, and sci-fi aesthetic. It didn't seem possible it could deliver, but in 2024, Stellar Blade stands out for its fast-paced action, its gorgeous presentation, and surprisingly extensive scale. The narrative of humanity's near extinction is rife with twists and turns, but even if you're a combat aficionado, Stellar Blade will cater to your tastes, and then some. Senua Saga: Hellblade 2. Even after the acclaim of its predecessor, we honestly didn't know what to expect with Senua Saga: Hellblade 2. It's a first-party console exclusive, yet $49.99, digital only, and takes roughly 6 hours to complete. While there's plenty to ponder, one can't deny that Senua's latest journey into the darkness, combining mythology with psychosis, is just a spectacle. Very few titles can match its visual fidelity, and even if there are areas it could improve on, Hellblade 2 is an emotional rollercoaster from start to finish. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. While the rogue still needs time to cook, Sargon and his quest in the Lost Crown is piping hot with its sleek combat and abundant secrets. Some traversal aspects could be fine-tuned, but the sense of exploration and uncovering a whole new section of the map is great. Tekken 8. It's almost incredible that 6 years passed between the new Tekken titles. Given the various ways Tekken 7 fumbled, Tekken 8 had its task cut out and delivered on nearly every front. The latest story mode is as baffling and bizarre as epic and involving. The heat system lends to some great new strategies and tense moments, while the new characters, Reina, Azucena, and Victor, fit in naturally with the classic cast. You could argue that the arcade quest is disposable, but in terms of the complete package, Tekken 8 stakes its claim as one of the best fighting games in years. Hades 2. It says something when Hades 2 is already one of the best games of the year despite still being in early access. The sheer scale of the current product, the art style and incredible soundtrack, and the storytelling and characterization combined with the fluid combat and range of builds courtesy of the boons make for a roguelite experience that leaves the original behind. We're keen to see how it evolves further over the coming months, but Hades 2 is still one of the year's must-play titles. Helldivers 2. Few games with online issues that persist for weeks after launch could inspire such a frenzy that Helldivers 2 did. Very few have bucked the ever-prevalent notion of live service bad like Helldivers 2. Almost none inspired as extensive a wave of backlash as the mandatory PSN linking like Helldivers 2. It's because, at its core, Helldivers 2 is a great game, an engaging co-op experience, an incredible work of satire. It's also one of the few live service titles where it feels like the story is evolving, motivated by player efforts, however small. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. When RGG Studios tells you that a new entry in the Like a Dragon series is the longest yet, you know it's an experience unlike any other. Whether it's the ever-enjoyable side stories, the many improvements to combat, and the sheer size of Hawaii City, the randomized dungeons, or the sheer depth of activities like Dondoko Island and Sujiman, Infinite Wealth has a dizzying amount of content. Of course, it's backed by a great narrative carried by its incredible cast while serving as an emotional journey for beloved protagonist Kazuma Kiryu. Destiny 2: The Final Shape. The narrative of The Final Shape, the conclusion of the Light and Darkness saga in Destiny, mirroring Bungie's struggle to deliver on expectation, isn't lost on fans. Nevertheless, the expansion pulled out all the stops for some of the best storytelling in the series. The gunplay remained as excellent as always, with excellent new weapons and Prismatic bursting the door open on the Guardian power fantasy. Top to bottom, from the patrol space and activities to the raid, The Final Shape represents the very best of Destiny 2, while offering some hope for the future. Dragon's Dogma 2. The emergent gameplay of Dragon's Dogma 2 isn't for everyone, but the world design and its emphasis on going out and experiencing it firsthand can get addictive. You never know what lies around each corner, and all those moments from your pawn saving you from a fatal fall or Sphinx's riddles make the experience all the more memorable. Combat also leverages these emergent systems while still feeling tight and providing an extensive range of choices. For all its quirks, Dragon's Dogma 2 is a truly unique action RPG experience. Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree. What can be said about Elden Ring's first and only expansion that hasn't been said already? The overwhelming challenge of the Realm of Shadow and its awe-inspiring bosses, the new weapons and their crazy movesets, or the extensive verticality of the world design and exploration? All the secrets dotting the landscape, from an innocuous manner of madness to a world-ending threat on the peak. Shadow of the Erdtree builds on everything that makes the base game great, while upping the intensity and build-crafting variety in what may as well be an entirely new game. It's mind-boggling, frustrating, strangely beautiful, and we can't get enough. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There's no shortage of massive role-playing games this year, and while Final Fantasy VII Rebirth matches up well, it offers something more. The nostalgia, the feeling of experiencing the previously 32-bit locations and events in gorgeous cutting-edge visuals, it didn't seem like the developer could once again mimic those feelings that Final Fantasy VII Remake gave us. Yet, here we are. It's far superior in terms of side quests and combat, while the sheer scale of the world is breathtaking to behold. The year isn't over, but as of now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is as good as it gets. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.